You'll never walk alone, Diogo. None of us ever thought we'd be saying goodbye to Diogo Jota this soon. We didn't expect him to be sold this summer, let alone something far worse. At just 28 years old, in the prime of his career and his life, Diogo passed away alongside his brother in a tragic car accident. The news hit like a punch to the chest. It left us all stunned, heartbroken, and struggling to believe it was real. Even now, a day later, while writing this, it still doesn't feel true. If we're feeling this way, us, the fans, the supporters from Liverpool and beyond, just try to imagine what his family must be going through. In losing Diogo and his brother, a family has lost two sons at once. So our hearts should be with them at this tough time. The world hasn't just lost an incredible footballer, we've lost a warm, kind-hearted soul who still had so much life left to live. Only days before the accident, Diogo had married his childhood sweetheart. He was a proud father to 3 young children. Life was just beginning to open new doors for him, and then, in the blink of an eye, it was taken away. It's hard to find the words for something so cruel. But today, instead of focusing on the pain of his loss, we want to remember what Diogo Jota gave us. We want to celebrate the player, yes, but even more so the man. This is our tribute to the joy, the passion, and the inspiration he brought into our lives. This is about the legacy he leaves behind, one that will never be forgotten. Within the Liverpool family, Diogo Jota was more than just a talented forward. He was a beloved teammate and a true friend. Those who spent time with him every single day often talked about how he lit up the dressing room with his energy and personality. Jota was an immensely popular figure among the squad, known for being warm, friendly, and completely down to earth. He had a smile for everyone, from the kit staff to the manager, and he never let the pressure of the game change who he was at his core. Our legendary former manager, Jurgen Klopp, shared how heartbroken he felt at the loss. He remembered Diogo not just as a fantastic player, but as a great friend, a loving husband, and a caring father. That says everything you need to know about the kind of man Diogo was. He built real, honest relationships everywhere he went. His teammates had a deep respect for him, and even players from opposing teams noticed his good spirit and fair attitude. The Portuguese Football Federation put it perfectly when they said that beyond everything he did on the pitch, Diogo Jota was an extraordinary person, respected by all his teammates and opponents, someone with an infectious joy. And it's true, his energy was contagious. Whether it was a regular training session or a high-pressure cup final, Diogo's enthusiasm lifted the people around him. Off the pitch, he was just as genuine. Fans always say how normal and kind he seemed, no matter how famous he became. He'd stop to sign autographs, have quick chats with supporters, and always found time for people. And he never pretended to be anyone else. We all remember the way his eyes lit up when he talked about his other big passion, gaming. Diogo was a serious video gamer. He even started his own esports team and would stream on Twitch during his free time. It was honestly so endearing to see a top-level footballer celebrating his FIFA wins online, joking with fans, and just having fun. It made us love him even more, because it showed Diogo the person, a young man who, when he wasn't scoring goals at Anfield, was just as happy sitting at home on his console, laughing and connecting with people all over the world. He was one of us. As fans, we'll always hold on to the countless moments of magic that Diogo Jota gave us on the pitch. From the moment he arrived at Liverpool in 2020, it was clear he had a special gift for showing up when it mattered most. He had this knack for rising to big occasions, and he made sure we noticed. Who could ever forget that unforgettable night in Bergamo? Jota scored a stunning hat-trick in a 5-0 Champions League win over Atalanta. He completely tore them apart, announcing himself to Europe with every sharp, clinical finish. It felt like he couldn't miss. Then there was that glorious afternoon at Old Trafford, when Liverpool absolutely dismantled Manchester United 5-0. And right there, in the middle of it, Diogo came sliding in at the back post to score right in front of a stunned Stretford end. We were already singing his name before the ball even touched the back of the net. That's how electric it felt. There were so many heroic moments in January 2022 when Liverpool were pushing on all fronts. Diogo stepped up again. It was the League Cup semi-final against Arsenal, away at the Emirates, with everything on the line. Under huge pressure, he delivered both goals in a 2-0 win that sent us to Wembley. That was vintage Jota. Always ready, always fearless, and always delivering the biggest moments. And when those finals came, he didn't flinch. He stepped up in the shootouts of both the League Cup final and the FA Cup final that season. Calm as anything, he buried his penalties and helped bring both trophies home. And who could forget April 2023, that wild game at Anfield against Spurs? What started as a dream, going 3-0 up, suddenly turned into a nightmare when it was 3-3 in the 90th minute. The energy in the stadium shifted, and for a second it felt like everything had slipped away. But then out of nowhere, Diogo popped up and scored a breathtaking winner in the 94th minute. It was chaos. Anfield exploded with noise. Fans were hugging strangers, shouting his name, overcome with joy. In just a moment, Diogo turned heartbreak into euphoria. He gave us something we'll never forget. A moment of pure joy pulled from the edge of collapse. Even in his final season, Diogo Jota kept adding to his legacy. Just this past April, he scored a vital goal in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. That strike restored Liverpool's 12-point lead in the title race, and it felt like the moment the Premier League crown was all but sealed. Once again, Jota had come through when it counted. Just weeks later, he was riding on top of the team bus, Premier League medal around his neck, waving to the sea of fans lining the streets. It was a day full of joy and pride. A day we thought we would see many more times with him, but that turned out to be his final trophy celebration in the famous red shirt. We just didn't know it yet. In total, Diogo Jota scored 65 goals in 182 appearances for Liverpool. Every one of those goals told its own story. Maybe it was a last-minute winner that sent us into a frenzy. Maybe it was a perfect hat-trick that showed his class. Or maybe it was a derby goal like the one against Everton that will live in our memories for years to come. He helped bring the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup back to Anfield. And he wasn't just a part of those wins, he helped drive them forward. He was a difference maker. But beyond the numbers and the medals, what truly defines Diogo's legacy are the emotions we tie to those moments. When Jota scored, it was more than just a goal. It was a burst of happiness. It was a reason to cheer, a reason to believe, a reason to sing his name with all our hearts. His goals brought joy, hope, and a sense of togetherness. Those are the moments we'll hold on to now more than ever. The outpouring of love and grief after Diogo's passing has been overwhelming. It's shown just how much of an impact he had on the football world, not just as a player, but as a person. At Anfield, fans have been gathering in growing numbers to pay their respects. Around the Shankly Gates and Paisley Square, a sea of scarves, jerseys, flowers, and handwritten notes has taken shape. The flag above Liverpool's town hall was lowered to half-mast, a simple but powerful gesture. You can feel the weight of sadness across the city. Liverpool is mourning one of its adopted sons. Some supporters stood outside the stadium, eyes full of tears, softly singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" as candles flickered in the fading light. It's a scene of collective heartbreak, but it's also a scene of love, of unity, of a family coming together to honor someone who brought us so much joy. In moments like these, football becomes more than just a game. It becomes a bond. And it's not just Liverpool supporters. Fans of rival clubs have also stepped forward to pay tribute. In an era where rivalries can sometimes feel bitter and never-ending, this tragedy has reminded everyone what really matters. Across social media and beyond, fans from all backgrounds have shared their condolences, their stories, and their admiration for Diogo. His former clubs like Wolves and Pacos de Ferreira posted emotional messages of their own, remembering the player who helped shape their history and left a lasting mark on their hearts. The messages from fellow players have been just as moving. His Liverpool teammates, both past and present, have spoken about his kindness, his passion, and the hole he leaves behind in the dressing room. So many shared stories about his drive in training, his laughter, his honesty. Legends of the game have also reached out in disbelief. Cristiano Ronaldo, who captained Diogo with the Portuguese national team, posted a heartfelt tribute. Ruben Neves and others followed, expressing the same shock and sadness. These are the players who knew Diogo not just by his skills, but by the kind of man he was. But maybe the most moving tributes of all have come from the ordinary fans whose lives who touched in quiet, powerful ways. So many people have shared how Jota always made time for them, how seeing him play could lift their mood after a hard week, how his goals against their biggest rivals became the kind of stories they'll tell their kids. Parents have posted pictures of their children proudly wearing Jota 20 on their backs, with messages about how he inspired them, not just to play football, but to play with a smile. In Portugal, he's being remembered as a hometown hero, a boy from Porto who rose to the top of the football world, but never forgot where he came from, a player who carried the pride of his nation with humility and heart. As we say our goodbyes, one message continues to echo. From the COP to Portugal and everywhere in between, "You'll never walk alone," Diogo Jota lived by that motto. In life, he never walked alone. He had us, the fans, standing with him through every high and every low. And now in death, he does not walk alone either. The Liverpool community, the football family around the world, world walks with him. And with the loved ones he leaves behind, his memory stays with us. It lives in our hearts, in our songs, in every story we tell. Farewell, Diogo. Thank you for the goals. Thank you for the glory. But more than anything, thank you for the joy you gave and the kindness you shared. You'll never walk alone. Legend, rest in peace.